The Baur has always been a place of gatherings, celebrations, and meetings. When Richard Wagner wrote his opera Valkyrie at the Baur, he gathered his friends here to perform it for the first time. Today, we are well known for our weddings, our summer party, and our winter celebrations, but when I was young, we also had afternoon dances in the park. That is where I met my husband. One wonderful day, a handsome young man asked me to dance with him. We fell in love and were later married.
The first automobile was patented in 1885. Only 20 years later, the Baur opened its garage to service the cars of its guests. This was 3 years before Henry Ford made his first Model T.
In 1905, not long after the invention of the automobile, the Baur pioneered one of the first garages in Zurich. We continue to anticipate the needs of our guests and evolve every aspect of their experience. When you arrive at the Baur, you feel at home. This is the legacy that we have continued to build for more than 175 years.
The Pavillon Restaurant is an international culinary destination with a beautiful panoramic view of the Baur Park, and in 2019 it was awarded its second Michelin star and 18 Gourmet points.
Before I say anything, they say, "Oh, hello, Mr. Bone, how are you?" Yes. Cheers.
Nice to see you
Nice
again.
to see you, Andre. The concierge service here is really second to none. I was in Paris in a hotel which will remain nameless before I came here. And when I got here, I opened my bags and I'd left a bag with all my cufflinks. I called the hotel and they were not helpful particularly. So in fact, the concierge here, he called them all that evening and eventually, very early the next morning, they sent them back. And so the Baur got my cufflinks back. There's a great difference in an individual hotel like this, which is always in the same family. It's just a whole different feeling. You know, and they say, you know, it's welcome to your home. I mean, they say that in other hotels, but it feels like it here.
The Baur is the home of many firsts. It was the first hotel to get electricity, the first with in-room bathrooms, and it had the first elevator in Zurich.
You told me once that the Baur was the first hotel in Switzerland to have a telegraph room.
Yeah.
In 1857.
Absolutely.
The Baur and the owners, the Kracht family, they always look forwards, they always look into the future, and future for hotel, of course, is always related to investments.
Baur attracts top talent from 41 different countries. Some of them stay for generations. In fact, our former general manager, Michel Rey, grew up living here in the hotel, and he took over as GM from his father after he retired.
It all started in 1954 when my dad came home to the Baur in order to run the hotel. A 20-year-old young man, that was my father, coming out of a hotel dynasty, and grandfather Koch heard of my father, and my father was soon hired from out of Geneva to here. Following in his footsteps, I took over as the general manager for another 30 years. This bond actually lasts almost nearly 90 years.
The most important moments in my life are when I feel my heart. That is when I see my family, spend time walking with my dogs, and Christmas time at the Baur. The Baur always works to give people a place to feel happy, comfortable, and at home. For me, there's no better time than Christmas to feel this come to life. I remember the grand trees placed here by my father from when I was a little girl. There's something about Christmas that seems to connect people. It is like an unspoken bond where you are never alone.
Every afternoon. I remember you disappearing. I never used to hide out there.
How old are you when you came here for the first time?
I really don't remember. I remember this garden. My father loved this restaurant. And so I used to just run around in the garden. And that felt really familiar to me because we had a beautiful garden like this one in Lugano. But it's funny because the garden has become a new canvas for Gigi's art program, and she does these incredible sculptures. So what's nice is in the hotel, it's nice and classic, and then here there's a touch of new, and she does it with so much passion.
If I try and imagine the Baur without art, I just can't. Art has always been a part of this property. Artists have always embraced the Baur. When I was discovering art, I was introduced to Fernando Botero, and he began to teach me all about art. He told me the Baur is the only hotel with a park in the center of town, and that I should create an art exhibition here. That's how Art in the Park was born.
History's anointed the Baur to be a place of significance. It's a special place here in the heart of Zurich. So when an event happens here, if it's a wedding, a meeting, an art show like Art in the Park, it's special because it's not just about what it is, but also about where it is.
My first recollections of the hotel are from when I was a little girl. I spent so many beautiful days here discovering the gardens in the park. The flowers seemed so large to me when I was so small. When I stand here now looking out at the lake, I really appreciate that we are amongst the most remarkable places in the world. When I think about the history of this place, I am proud to be part of a legacy that is constantly looking to the future, always moving forward.
The Baur has always been a pioneer in the timeless art of hospitality. It's family.
Family. Family.
The Baur is family.